Hi gin lovers and friends of Gin Society, I'm Philip Jones, the Martini Whisperer. I've been asked to talk about the wonderful gins in Gin Society's range of international craft spirits, and so it's kia ora to our Kiwi friends. So today I want to talk about the gorgeous Juno Gin. So it's a husband-wife team near New Plymouth, or near Taranaki, Mount Taranaki, Joe and Dave James, who make this wonderful gin. And the label itself is a bit hard to pick out on the camera, but it's beautifully etched with like peacocks and botanicals and icons. So they're a lovely couple and very passionate about their gin making. And they make a range of seasonal gins as well. But this Juno Gin in the lineup is their kind of flagship gin. Now, if you're not familiar, New Zealand makes some terrific gins. It's quite small in industry still. There's probably about 15 or so gin makers. I keep a list on my website, keep tabs on them. And I've just generally been, when I've gone there and I've judged their craft spirit awards in recent years, and when I experience New Zealand gins, there's always a degree of finesse across the board, which is very admirable as an industry. And so Juno Gin is no different. What's interesting and exciting about this particular gin and the Kiwi gins in general is the fact that, of course, just like, say, Australian producers are looking at native botanicals, they also explore in New Zealand their own native botanicals and things like that. So you actually get some very, very interesting approaches. But the Juno Gin, this particular release, is pretty classic London Dry kind of style, to put it that way. So you sort of naturally, you're going to have some juniper, there's orange, peppercorn, angelica root, kaffir lime, cardamom, manuka, of course native botanical, cassia bark, and some water from a local spring near Mount Taranaki. So a very natural approach to how they go about producing. And again, it's all small batch. There's a husband-wife team, and like many distillers over there, it's small batch and really passionately made and hand-foraged ingredients and things like that. So a really, really nice story around that. On the nose, so it's very light and delicate. It's not a big, boozy, punchy, spicy gin. It's really quite subtle. A little bit of sweetness, perhaps, and you get some of that spice, and that kaffir lime definitely makes itself felt on the nose. And on the palate, it's quite light and refreshing. So great for the gin and tonic or something like that. But because I can't help myself, I'm going to make a little martini out of it, but I'm going to give it a bit of a twist to try and accentuate some of those flavours. So given it's so delicate and interesting, you don't want to dominate with a bunch of remove and extra flavours. So what I think I might do instead is give a tiny little splash. So we'll go a bit Anzac, a little Australian vermouth, the maiden eye, the dry, but just a little bit. So I'm going to get a bar spoon, so probably about 5 mils, if that. Because what I want to do is pick up some of these lighter notes in the Juno Gin's botanical profile. So when I'm looking to make a cocktail or martini in particular, I like to accentuate some of that rather than do it. Give the ice a little bit of a stir just to coat the ice. And then we're just going to, so this is going to be quite dry, but again, my approach is when you've got a gin that's either really delicate and lots of interesting flavours like the Juno Gin is, you don't want to compete. You just want to sit for itself and want to pick out what some of those botanicals, if you know what they are, and accentuate those in the drink, in the cocktail. So a couple of nips. Voila. And then stir it down so it's nice and cold. And I like to keep my mixer in the fridge, my glasses in the fridge to the very last minute, so it's nice and pristine. And given, again, it's got, as I said, orange as part of the profile, I thought I might accentuate that citrus notes just a bit. So I'm going to opt for just a nice thin sliver of lemon as a garnish, just to cut through some of these flavours. So get it nice and cool. Nice little vintage cocktail glass, 1960s. And hopefully it's making you thirsty. Pro tip, I like to put my lemon twist on a swizzle on a cocktail pick like this. The reason being I can take it out after a while and the lemon doesn't take over the martini. A big slab of lemon will do that, and then in 30 seconds or so all you're going to taste is lemon, which is not really desirable. So yes, just a little bit. I can stir it around, take it off when I'm happy. You have to great Kiwi gin into Juno. Here's to you. Cheers. Not too shabby. Really bright. You get that nice, almost a musky, aromatic, nutty, which is like Southern Manica stuff coming through. And that pepper at the back and the cardamom at the back, still very present. And just a little bit of sweetness and citrus up forward, like bright sherbety kind of citrus up front, all dancing around the top. So I'm in a happy place. Cheers, everybody. See you next time.